Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. Today we have Water Quench. I said a little earlier this week that I might circle back around to Arknights earlier than usual as a result of just scheduling stuff, and I ended up doing so. Figured I'd go for Water Quench because I want to get to the ambient synesthesia stuff, but that's definitely going to be like a bigger video, and I need a little bit more time to do it and like a dedicated day, and I had recorded other stuff today already, so here we are. I guess without further ado, and for the 5 people who have been going off in the comments for the past like month and a half about this one, here it is. Let's go. Oh, I thought it was quiet for a second, but it's just fading in. That's a little different. All right. Immaculate vibes right off the bat. Ooh. There's that synth I love. See where it's gonna go. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Melodic dubstep. Let's go. Woo. One of my favorite electronic genres ever. Hey, let's go. I'm adding this to like all of my playlists.
No, I don't miss the former self I abandoned, the me that held her tongue. Now I'm commanding, taking charge like a captain. My era has begun. Oh, I'm liking a lot of things about the vocals here.
I'll explain myself later, of course. That was kind of fun. This is another song where the vocals are like perfectly nestled in the mix. They feel so natural in there. Ooh, tapping in with the visuals. Ooh, stoplight. Ominous. Yeah. A lot of production things I love about this one, which of course we'll talk about afterwards. A little bit of a shift there. Small one. I'm mad now because I kept putting it off going, that's not that big of a deal. It's just going to be another normal Arknights banger. That happened to land in all of my favorite things about electronic music. It is my favorite genre. It is my favorite tone. It is my favorite everything. And I should have gotten here weeks ago. So here we have another song where it was sung by the very talented Christina V. Her voice works best for this genre, in my opinion. It just kind of nestles right into that electronic soundscape. I'm not entirely sure why. One of the reasons might just be my bias, because I think the first time I ever heard her sing on something was for like a demo of FL Studio years ago, and it just worked so well. Her tone just sits right in there. There's some quality about her voice that really reacts well and mixes well with the area that electronic synths kind of sit in, and it feels really good, and her voice always sounds great in that mix. But I also imagine it's really hard to not have a good singer for such good lyrics from David Lynn and an amazing production overall from Erik Castro. This is a beautifully done track. The production does all these little things that are like my personal biases, and that might just sound like I love the genre because I said that so many times already. Like, there was a lot of cool production stuff being done with this one, especially in like the percussion, the toms, that was kind of being heavily weighed on this side. They did kind of move a little bit, like they were going to move to the other ear, but they really didn't fully sweep over to the other side, and that's just a really neat sound. It always makes everything feel much broader, more wide. That panning is so important, and Erik consistently has amazing production quality when it comes to just knowing where things need to lay in the mix to make it sound really broad, bright, and full. He never has thin sounds. He never has something that sounds like it's all centered out. He really just stretches everything on the soundscape of every song he works on, and it's really good. A great example of that is the synth string during the main drop. That kind of lifted as the notes lifted. That's great use of space. It felt like it was like every note it went up, like it like moved away from the center of the mix. That's such a small thing, but it sounds so neat, and the process of the brain to just pick that apart, you could have just left that in the center, but lifting that away makes your brain aware of all of this other space, and then you start tuning in to other little things happening throughout, all the other sound design elements he's throwing in there. There was like some like knives or something, like blades kind of scraping against each other in there. That was really cool. That was a lot lower down, more center, but it was like dead center in between the ears, not like in front, not too far behind. It wasn't too far on either side. It was like smack dab in the center. Erik does an amazing job at mixing songs so broad. It's like he does everything in Dolby Atmos. It is insane how much room he's able to squeeze out of just a stereo soundscape. It is so good. There was also some really cool stuff with the lyrics and how Christina handled them. I'm not fully sure. Every single time that there's a vocalist and a top liner, I don't know how much they work together or trust each other to just handle things. From what I've talked with David about, he tends to trust the singer to just kind of figure out the ideas and more or less lets him have free reign of the concepts. So this is probably Christina's doing here. But during the second verse, where she was like putting a lot of heavy emphasis on the consonants at the ends of like abandoned and like captain, action, like there was just a lot of dig into each one of those syllables, and that sounded so good with the flow of the beat behind her. And it's little intelligent decisions like that that make songs stand out like this, where it could have just sang it as written, pretty standard, straightforward, but no, she had to like sprinkle a little bit of spice on there and like add that extra zest to the consonants in order to make them feel more important in the song itself. So while the lyrics definitely help push that forward by obviously being there in general, and they have a specific set of consonants and vowels being used at certain intervals, the singer taking that and adding that extra character to it, all that emphasis, adds more to the song. You don't just get this bland kind of thing. That's why I was so hyped with other songs that I've heard from David that he's had the singers kind of do their own thing on. And that's one of those things that I picked up while I was talking to David during our interview, was that he lets people do that sort of thing. He trusts them to make those decisions and add that little bit of spice instead of getting too controlling over it, because some people are. And I think being too stingy about that stuff leads to a much more boring product at the end of the day. Like, you're in a collaborative space. You're in this like mutual zone of, we are creating something together. Everybody's voice should be heard, even if it's David in his writing versus the way that somebody as a singer wants to portray that writing. That sort of collaboration can be so important to the overall feel of a song. And this is one of the best like vocal lyric meshes I've heard in a while. I thought this was going to be a quick video, and instead of that I've been recording for 18 straight minutes, so I know I'm going to be editing down quite a bit of this because a lot of it's just been me conceptualizing my thoughts and putting them into words, which is difficult when I'm this excited. I've had to stop myself from just gushing like 5 different times. This is a great song. This is insane on production quality. It's so crisp. It's so clean. It's got just enough bass, just enough treble, all the mids just laying there right in the center, right where they should be. No frequencies that shouldn't be there exist here. And Christina's voice helping sweeten everything. But there I go gushing again. I literally had to cut out a chunk there because I started just talking nonsense. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you want to request any other songs from Arknights, by all means, go ahead and do so. I do want to get to the ambient synesthesia thing. That'll probably end up being next week's video, but you can always put a request for the next song I should get to in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to it because I'll be coming back to this video to see what that is when I get there. And otherwise, if you just like this video and you like seeing me nerd about stuff despite me having to cut out like 5 or 6 different attempts of going off on random tangents like I'm about to do again if I don't stop myself, then you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!